Welcome back to the channel. I am Zoe Thompson from Build It Brilliant, and today we have a really important topic to discuss, and that is cultivating a positive presence online as a therapist. So if you're new here, thank you very much for joining me, and if not, welcome back. Let's get into my top tips in how to cultivate a professional and positive image online. Okay, so the first point I want to make is about authenticity and being your authentic self. Now, this might take you a little time to sit and decide what your brand voice is going to be. And who are you? How can you show up as you online? What is it that defines what your brand is going to stand for? Because that will help you to decide what things are authentically you and what way of being and what way of sharing is authentically you. So I think it's important to have a little think about what your brand voice is going to be, and to make sure that it allows you to share with authenticity wherever you may be online. Second point I want to make is about boundaries, because boundaries are important for you professionally and as a business. So what is it that you will share and what is it that you won't share? And when will you communicate with people and when won't you communicate with people? So a lot of therapists communicate all the time. If someone sends them a message, then their phone pings and they're straight onto that message without thinking about whether that's the appropriate time to respond or whether you have considered your brand voice and your ethics in responding to that particular person. It's also about you having boundaries about when you're working and when you're not working, because when you're self-employed as a therapist, the lines can get really blurry, and that is one of the things that does lead to burnout. So have a think about your boundaries, putting those in place. What will you share? What won't you share? When will you message? When won't you message? And putting some rules in place so that you can make sure that you are delivering a fantastic customer service all of the time, and communicating what you will do and what you won't do as well, where it's appropriate. Next point is around content creation tips. So you want to create some informative, interesting, authentic content. So have a think about what insights you might like to share, or what is your viewpoint on something, what is your opinion about something, what can you share in terms of research and statistics. I've done another video that's 18 ideas for you for your private practice videos that you could create. So I'll put a link to that below so you can go have a look. But have a think about what kinds of content could you create that is inspiring and professional and creates that fantastic online presence. The next part is around engaging with your audience. See, so many people do fantastic content, but then they never respond to messages and get back to the comments that people have put underneath their adverts, for example. So make sure that you're checking them. Make sure that you have some time in your calendar to check messages and get back to people and engage with your audience. No good kind of putting a comment on something and then literally nobody hears from you afterwards, and there's been 8 other things said underneath and you've never checked back. So engagement with your audience is important, and the best thing to do with that is to get some time in your calendar so that you can have regular times that you just go in and respond to comments and things like that. Next one is professionalism in communication. So as a therapist, we need to be responsible for what we are sharing. And that needs to be in terms of whether it be written or whether it be spoken. It's about considering those ethical considerations about what you're sharing and where you're sharing it, keeping in mind client confidentiality and adhering to an ethical therapeutic stance. So I've seen so many times in discussion forums where people are discussing cases, and is that the right thing to do? I'm not sure sometimes. Just think about what kind of environment you're sharing this information in, and your ethical considerations, and also about the tone of the way that you share things and you talk about things, and have professionalism in all of your communications across the board. Next one is about handling negative feedback. You might like to sit and think about how you're going to handle negative feedback, because criticism is a stepping stone to successful business. Everybody experiences at some point. And I loved, one of my members said that that they respond with articulate positive regard or something like that. And I really like that balance of having positive regard for somebody but still articulating your point. And if you can get that balance right in the feedback, in line with your brand voice and in line with your authenticity, then that's the best way to respond to negative feedback. But you might like to have a sit and think, what sorts of ways would I respond? What sorts of things could I say that is in line with my brand and my authenticity? And the last one is collaboration and networking. Online positive image is not just about your own socials. It's also about where you take part in other groups, and you may be doing online networking, collaborations with people. It's about cultivating that professional brand voice, that authenticity across every single communication that you have online. So that's why I started this video with that sit and have a think about your brand. Have a think about your brand voice, so that you can carry that out across the board, across all of your communications. And that is how you create an effective and professional online presence. So in review then, it is all about authenticity, professionalism, and building connections. And thank you very much for watching. I hope that has helped. Please do give me your ideas below in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think about positive and professional online presence, and what challenges you come up against when doing so, and how you've overcome them. So anything on the line of creating that professional online presence, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you very much for joining me. If you've enjoyed this content, please do like the video and consider subscribing to the channel so that you never miss out on the videos, which I release once a week. Okay, take care. That's it. And I will see you next week for the next video.